a smaller one. This is the red wall, right? I'm delighted to be here introducing my friend Liz Truss today. I've worked with Liz for over 12 years, and I know her to be a true blue tax-cutting conservative. Liz is steadfast in her beliefs, and she has an unmatched track record of delivery in government to match this. Liz is ready to hit the ground running to deliver the fresh approach that working families need. The next election will be about the economy, and Liz is ready to deliver radical change from day one. With an appalling, savage war in Ukraine raging, now is the time for a Prime Minister who can hit the ground running from day one to ensure that Vladimir Putin is defeated. Through her work as International Trade Secretary and Foreign Secretary, Liz Truss has done more than anybody in government to deliver on the promise of Brexit. And I know that she will deliver even more as our Prime Minister. It's coming. She will be here very shortly. Fantastic. 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 You're going to do a brilliant work.
Friends, we are at a critical moment for our country. We face huge challenges in the aftermath of COVID and Putin's appalling war in Ukraine. Now is the time to be bold. We cannot have business as usual economic management, which has led to low growth for decades. We need to deliver on Brexit and the opportunities it offers. And we need to win the fight for freedom at home and around the world. Yeah. That is why I am putting myself forward for leadership of the Conservative and Unionist Party and our great country. I will campaign as a Conservative, and I will govern as a Conservative. I can lead, I can make tough decisions, and I can get things done. I am ready to be Prime Minister from day one. I got to where I am today through hard work and aspiration. I didn't come from a traditional Conservative background. I grew up in Paisley and I went to comprehensive school in Leeds. Many of the children I were at school with were let down by low expectations, poor educational standards, and a lack of opportunity. Too much talent went to waste. I didn't believe, and I don't believe, that it has to be that way. And that's why I went into politics. I care deeply about our country. I want us to be an aspiration nation where people from all backgrounds and all parts of the United Kingdom have the opportunity to have a great education, be able to start their own businesses and realise their dreams. Everyone should have the same opportunity, regardless of their background or where they live. And that is what levelling up is in a conservative way. I have a plan to make Britain a high-growth economy over the next 10 years through bold supply-side reform. We will cut taxes, helping businesses invest in their future. We'll tackle the cost of energy, and we'll control government spending. We will create new low-tax, low-regulation zones to attract investment in communities up and down our country, creating new hubs for innovation and enterprise. We can revitalise local areas in the same way as we regenerated the London Docklands. Families are a vital part of our lives and a crucial building block for a stable society. They don't just look after themselves, but they're part of communities, charities, and even businesses. We will review the taxation of families to ensure that people aren't penalised for taking time out to care for children or elderly relatives. We'll turbocharge the rural economy by focusing on farmers growing food and cutting the pointless regulation that gets in their way. We need to be honest with the public. This will be tough. It will take time, but I am determined to deliver. I know I can deliver because I have taken bold decisions and made bold reforms throughout my career. After working in the energy and telecoms industry, I set up the Free Enterprise Group in Parliament. I made the case with like-minded colleagues for an open, competitive, dynamic economy. In government, I've consistently delivered and I've taken tough decisions. I stood up to Vladimir Putin by targeting Russia with the toughest sanctions his regime has ever seen. And I would continue to lead the free world in opposing Putin and making sure that Ukraine prevails. I don't give in to Whitehall. I don't give in to vested interests. And I don't give in to the naysayers. I've proved time and time again that I can deliver even when it's difficult. As Trade Secretary, I struck dozens of trade deals with major partners such as Australia and Japan, when people told me that it simply wouldn't be possible. In the face of EU intransigence, I developed the Northern Ireland Protocol Bill. It breaks the deadlock in a legal way, upholding the Belfast Good Friday Agreement and preventing the tearing apart of our precious union. As Chief Secretary to the Treasury, I had a firm grip on our nation's finances. I am prepared to do whatever it takes to get the job done. That, my friends, is why I am trusted to deliver. We have to level with the British public that our economy will not get back on track overnight. Times are going to be tough, but I know that I can get us on an upward trajectory by 2024. We can get there by delivering our promises, ensuring spades are in the ground, people are in jobs, and money is being generated in local areas right across our country. I can know it can be delivered by working relentlessly together as a team and focusing on delivery, delivery, and delivery. That's how we can turn things around, and that's how the Conservatives can win the next election. We don't have a moment to lose, and I will work with colleagues from right across the party to lead a strong and united team. Let me be clear. Labour is beatable. The Liberals are beatable. There isn't a great groundswell of support in the country for Sir Keir Starmer or Sir Ed Davey. What the British people are crying out for is a modern and united Conservative Party, ready with the courage of its convictions to deliver on the promises that we have made. So, my friends, you can trust me to get the economy going, to get money back in people's pockets, and to help squeezed families. Together, we will level up the country in a Conservative way, making it an aspiration nation. Together, we will continue to defy the voices of decline and stand tall on the world stage. So let's get on and deliver for our great country like never before. Thank you. I'll start with Beth Rigby of Sky.
Thank you. Liz Truss, you've just said that the country wants a modern and united Conservative Party, but the two candidates ahead of you in this race have one thing in common. They're a break from Boris Johnson. Rishi Sunak resigned from his government, you did not, and Penny Mordaunt was never in his cabinet, or only for a brief moment. And they've leapfrogged you in the race. Given the bitter divisions of recent months, is Boris Johnson's tacit backing of you the kiss of death for your candidacy, given that the party wants change, even if you did not? Thank you.
The change we need to deliver is change on the economy. We've had sluggish growth for 2 decades, and we need a new economic plan. And I'm somebody who can work with a team from right across the Conservative Party to deliver on transforming our economy, cutting taxes for ordinary people across the country, getting investment into all areas from the north to the south, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales, helping us deliver the next general election, but most importantly, helping us deliver a brighter future for Britain.
Could I just ask, why didn't you resign from Boris Johnson's cabinet when so many colleagues did?
I'm a loyal person. I'm loyal to Boris Johnson. I supported our Prime Minister's aspirations, and I want to deliver the promise of the 2019 manifesto. And what we need to do now is deliver, deliver, deliver. And I am the person in this race with the record of delivery. I've taken the tough decisions at the Foreign Office, at the Trade Department. I've got a fantastic team of people in my campaign team, and more broadly across the party. And I want to go in from day one in Downing Street and make sure we deliver on the promises we set out in 2019. Chris Mason.
Chris Mason from BBC News. How can you be the credible agent of change, given that you have sat around Boris Johnson's cabinet table throughout his time as Prime Minister? And if I may, how worried are you that your campaign is being trampled by the March of Mordaunt?
Well, as you know, I've been focusing on making sure that Vladimir Putin is defeated in Ukraine. And we led that effort. We led the fight for the free world. We put on more sanctions than any other country. We have encouraged others to stand tough. We were the first country to send weapons to Ukraine. And I'm proud of that record. Now, internally within government, I was critical within Cabinet of the proposed national insurance rise. I was a Cabinet Minister who spoke out against it at the time. But I'm a loyalist. I believe in collective responsibility. But now the Prime Minister has stood down. I think it's right that I'm honest about my views on the economy. I spent 2 years as Chief Secretary. I can deliver a different economic plan that is credible and will work for the people of Britain and deliver on the promises that we made in the 2019 manifesto. Thank you. Anusha.
Thank you. Anusha Kristan at ITV News. Elizabeth Truss, you voted Remain and you remained in the Cabinet when tax rises came in. Penny Mordaunt backed Brexit from the start. Some say she's the real candidate of the right. Given that analysts say she is going to beat you, wouldn't the right thing be for party unity to swing behind her?
Well, since the referendum in 2016, I have done so much to deliver on the promises of Brexit and the opportunities of Brexit. I've delivered dozens of trade deals at the Department of Trade. I've delivered the Northern Ireland Protocol Bill to fix the issues that we have in Northern Ireland. And as Prime Minister, I am committed to unleashing the full opportunities of Brexit, the ability to do things differently, whether that's in financial services, whether it's in regulation, to really get our economy going. And I'm the candidate in this race that has the record of delivery. I've shown that I'm prepared to get difficult stuff done in Whitehall. I'm ready to hit the ground running from day one. We've only got 2 years till the general election. And my experience, my record of delivery is needed to get the job done. Jack Elsom.
Thank you, Foreign Secretary. You said just now you wanted to be honest about your plan for the economy. The government in which you serve currently has a tax plan to cut the basic rate of income tax by 1p by 2024. That's not enough, is it? And what would you like to see income tax cut to?
Well, on day one, we would start by having a new budget and a new spending review. It's vitally important that we reverse the national insurance rises, that we don't increase corporation tax because we need to get investment into all parts of our country. I also want to put in place low tax zones, particularly in areas like the north of England, to help attract enterprise. I think that's vitally important. And the way I see the COVID debt is it's a one-off event, it's a 1 in 100-year event. We should pay that debt off over a longer period of time. That is how I would fund my tax reductions, whilst at the same time laying out a clear plan, a clear 10-year plan to reform the government and the public sector, and to do all those supply-side reforms I've talked about to really get the economy motoring, because we have had anemic growth for the past 2 decades. And more of the same simply isn't going to work to deliver for the people of Britain. Jason Groves.
Thank you. You've worked with Penny Mordaunt in government. You've done some of the same jobs as her at equalities, at trade, on Brexit. Your friend Lord Frost this morning said she's not up to the job. Do you agree with him?
Well, actually, I haven't worked in the same department as Penny Mordaunt, and I certainly won't be making any disparaging comments about any of my fellow candidates. I think, in fact, the Conservative race shows what a broad range of talent we have in the Conservative Party. And we didn't get there through identity politics. We didn't get there through quotas. We got there because we are a meritocratic party that believes in the future of Britain. Ben Riley-Smith.
Thank you. 2 quick policy questions. Defence spending. What percentage of GDP would you want to see spent on defence? And would you keep Boris Johnson's Rwanda deportation policy?
I want to see, by the end of the decade, defence spending going up to 3% of GDP. I think it's vitally important, with increased insecurity in Europe and across the world, that we are putting our money where our mouth is. The fact is, the free world didn't spend enough on defence, and we saw the results in terms of the appalling Russian aggression in Ukraine. If we don't make sure that Russia is defeated in Ukraine, we could see even worse taking place across Europe. So it is vitally important that we reform government so we can afford to spend more on defence. And part of that is helping more people get into work, reforming our welfare system to make sure that we are encouraging that, having proper incentives for people to go into work. This is why the national insurance rise is so wrong, because we need to make sure that people are encouraged to take up those opportunities. I completely agree with the Rwanda policy. I've worked very closely with Priti Patel on it, and we need to have further reforms in the United Kingdom to make sure that we can really stop illegal immigration. Steve Swinford.
Foreign Secretary, you talk about running a positive campaign and not criticising your rivals, but many of the people sitting in front of you in your own team have been publicly very critical of your rivals. They've said that Rishi Sunak has been plotting to undermine the Prime Minister for 6 months. They've publicly accused Rishi Sunak of orchestrating a dirty tricks campaign through Gavin Williamson. This morning, people around your team are saying that Penny Mordaunt would need stabilisers if she became Prime Minister. Do you endorse these very personal attacks on your rivals, or would you like the people in front of you not to carry them out anymore?
As you've heard today, Steve, I'm putting forward a positive agenda. I want to transform our country. I think the most pressing issue is the economy. We need to hit the ground running from day one. I'm the Prime Minister that can do that. And I want to have a team from across the Conservative Party getting all of our talents on the pitch to be able to do that. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for the questions. Very good to see you.